Alright, don't crucify me, but it's okay to change your mind. Live a little, try some things, update yourself, and maybe after some trial and error, you too have changed your mind on some fragrances for whatever reasons. So here today are some of my fragrances that I have had a love and hate relationship with in the past, ones I may either like or totally love now that I didn't always enjoy. My name is Manny, aka CascadeScents. Welcome to the channel. Lots to update you on now, so let's not waste any more time. Roll intro, roll video. The first fragrance on this list that I changed my mind on is Ford Denoir, and smelling this fragrance like 10 plus years ago was just unreal. I love that rosy yet earthy, chocolatey and vanilla vibe. To me, it could have just checked off the box for sweeter jammy rose, which I was into at the time, as well as vanillas too. Like I was pursuing vanillas from Guerlain, MFK, Tom Ford of course, just about everywhere. And this scent was truly up there for me. Until I got a bottle. Like I recall this wearing in store, not quite like a beastly performer, but definitely noticeably strong. So of course I was really excited to receive my bottle. At the time I had a discount code through a retail outlet as well, but I don't know what to say. Unfortunately it just fell flat, like everything about it. Like the bottle I got in comparison to the one at the store just felt reformulated. Instead of getting 8 to 10 hours of longevity in my Canadian winters, I was maybe getting closer to 6. And then when it comes to projection, just forget about it. It was not jumping off my skin whatsoever. Nothing felt bold about this. Nothing punchy about that delicious smelling jammy rose, or the vanilla and tuber together giving off this nice deep chocolate vibe. None of that. So it goes without saying, eventually I unloaded this bottle, which could have been a bad bottle. Thus why you didn't hear me or see me post about this one in the last 5-ish years, which really sucks because again, as far as its more original state, I was just absolutely enthralled with this DNA. Like if it performed optimally, it'd probably be my number one of all the private blends, which is saying a lot because it's such an incredible line. So I don't know what else to say. Of course, I just thought my time with Noir shenanigans was completely a wrap, but one of these days I was at the cosmetics company store in Niagara Falls, New York, across the border from my native Ontario, Canada, of course, and I like to pop into that place once in a while because as an official Estee Lauder outlet, of course you know you're getting official product, but some of the sales there are just so kick-ass. And what do you know, in 2023 I was able to revisit this scent over there. I just felt like spraying it upon old time's sake, not like I was expecting much from the batch I was going to get there, but in upon doing so I was wrong. Like this thing sprayed closer to what that vintage was way back in the day for me. Again, it didn't completely explode off my skin, but the performance as far as a punchier rose and vanilla, it's smelling like a delicious and sexy enough date night scent for me now getting again my desired 8 to 10 hours of longevity. All of that was checked off here. So it goes without saying, I pulled the trigger yet again. That's why this is in my hand, and I've been in love yet again ever since. So shout outs to the cosmetics company store for making it happen. A good half off with an extra 10% off on top of that just helps infinitely all the time. And yeah, hopefully you can find a similar deal out there if you have a cosmetics company store near you. But thankfully nowadays online isn't completely decrepit as far as finding deals on this stuff. You're looking at around $180 on the Joma Shop website for a 50 ml, or you can get it at retail at around $295 USD. So yeah, that is a lot of savings to be had there. I will mention this though in closing with Noir, I was able to, yes, compare the batch code of the tester at the store with the box that they had ready for me there. So that's not a bad thing to do going forward for you guys if you are doing the retail route, is to compare the tester to the boxes that they have there. If it is a similar batch code or the same batch code and you really like the tester, then you should be good to go. So I figured I'd tell you that before moving on to the next one. Again, I'm glad I changed my mind on this one, or found a bottle that works for me rather. Again, it is Ford Denoir. Next up is another cozy favorite. It's Frapin 1270. Now Frapin makes both booze and fragrances, so it makes sense that their scents are often boozy or have liquor related themes. That being said, when I first tried their fragrances a good decade ago, as much as I loved the quality for the price, I didn't appreciate the lack of projection and or longevity, which is unfortunately the case for a few of the Frapins we know and love. So instead I drifted towards the Killian single malts or the Killian apple brandies of the world. Again, fire levels of performance, but eventually I hit a wall when it came to wearing that stuff publicly, and that's because people would actually think that I was drinking with some of those scents. That's how accurate they were. So I don't want to take away anything about those scents because they are smelling exactly how they are described in the copy and in the name, But from a functional perspective, I just didn't want to smell like a drunk anymore. Like, I kid you not, one of these days after leaving a Gatineau, Quebec casino, I was actually breathalyzed on the way out because the cop refused to believe that I was not actually drinking. He actually asked me if I had anything to drink. On the way out, I said no, of course, because I didn't, but I smelled like I did, so he had no choice but to breathalyze me. I blew a 0. I should have taken a selfie of that shit. That shit is something I'm forever proud of. Not because I don't drink, I do sometimes, but that's just funny that I blew a 0. And yeah, I guess from that moment on, I was just a little bit self-conscious about smelling like I drank too much. And yeah, that's where the boozy beast mode projecting side of me kind of ceased. And from then on, I was not completely turned away from boozy fragrances, but I just wanted something a little bit more modest. That's where these Frapins come in. More specifically, 1270 here. Again, beautiful winter fall fragrance. We're talking pineapple, prunes, raisins, all these dried fruity accords that smell deep and just go with the woods and sweets in the base. That's honey, hazelnut, vanilla, all these delicious ingredients coming together to smell like a premium cognac. A cognac maybe that this brand is more known for making. And although I'm not a huge cognac guy, I can appreciate that art from afar, and I can appreciate it in scent form, I guess, without it projecting too crazy. That's why I love this in 1270. Something just more subdued, also a good snuggle scent if your girl is into these kind of deep dried fruits, as well as, you know, everything cozy and yummy. But I must say, and I'd be lying if I didn't say this, that also part of why I love 1270 is the price. Like, we're talking only 180 USD for such a premium scent like this in a 100 ml. I think that's spectacular. And when you consider the fact that you can get this stuff right now for around 85 USD on the gray market, like on Joma Shop, I just think you're laughing straight to the bank. And I'm not kidding, guys. Frapins seldom discounted way back in the day. So the fact that you can now get them for less than most retail designers out there is just the most pleasant surprise. Like 2014 Manny would have been doing cartwheels if he knew that this was the future as far as being able to cop Frapins at this rate. But you know what it is now. I'm definitely stocking up on these, and I think you should too if you are down with a high quality, vivid yet modest performing boozy scent. Again, here it is in Frapin 1270. Moving on now, can you believe there was a time I actually didn't get down with Terre D'Hermès Eau de Toilette? Now, of course, if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, you would know that I continue to spam this scent on my seasonal list till this day. But prior to all of this, I actually didn't like this stuff for the very reasons I like this stuff now. Like the black pepper and mineral quality on top of the orange just felt like it was too sharp in my nose. And even the vetiver woodsiness that provides this nice masculine musky effect felt too mature for me when I was that much younger. So to a certain extent, my nostrils, whenever I would get a whiff of this off my arm, felt like they were on fire, which is so sad in retrospect because nowadays, of course, I love this scent so much. But I must say that I was definitely on some crackhead shit for real because, let's be real, that's not how you smell fragrances. That's not how you enjoy them. It's a bad way to assess any fragrance wearing experience because, again, wearing it, getting wafts of it in your face as you're going about your day-to-day, and maybe getting positive feedback from others, that's how to assess your wearing experience. Way more holistic. So eventually, I don't know what caved in me, but I decided to give this stuff a shot, a proper wear, maybe because I was fed up with too many people saying that they had good reviews when wearing this stuff as far as compliments, or maybe they just liked it themselves. And yeah, I would go to my job at the time in public wearing this scent, and much to my delight, I was actually getting hella positive feedback with it, and I still do to this day as well. And what can I say? I'd be lying if I said that compliments don't help me as far as how I want to assess this personally for myself. But of course, compliments do help. And eventually I found myself complimenting myself with Terre D'Hermès on. Like whether or not I was dressed up in a suit or dressed down with a t-shirt and jeans, it's that perfect kind of scent that you would wear, feel like a nice masculine type of guy in, connected to nature with that orangey vibe, but also feel a little bit more distinguished with some of the pepper, some of that metallic mineral vibe, and of course that vetiver. It all smells jovial enough, but very sophisticated and some kind of rugged as well. It's just a scent that makes you feel good, especially again if you're not huffing it like this. Of course the scent smelled harsher, most scents would. But yeah, this scent started to do extra work for me the more I got it in like this rather than again like this. So salute to Jean-Claude Elna for his ability to make a scent truly evocative of nature with synthetics, and to me I would say that Terre EDT is one of the true great flagship scents of our time. And if you want to smell like it currently retails for 135 USD at 98 mLs, but at least you can still get the same size in tester form for less than half of the price on Joma Shop right now, which is such a blessing. So if you're in a position to revisit the scent yet again, I hope you do so. Again, potentially a ton of versatility and compliments await you with it. So there it is, it's Terre D'Hermès Eau de Toilette. Moving on with another scent that I changed my mind on. This one is Ineke, Field Notes from Paris. And guys, I'll be frank, I just did not understand the appeal with independent perfumery 7 to 10 years ago. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't into anything different or remotely off the beaten path. And while I still prefer that surgically smooth, more fine French perfumery approach even now, I have since at least warmed up to this more raw American independent perfumer approach. And for me, what was the catalyst to changing my mind here was actually something health related, like especially over the pandemic, just getting more exercise and being outside more as a result has just made me want to gravitate to anything that remotely felt like outdoors. And at its core, that's what this scent is. Field Notes from Paris, after all. Just feels like a nice spring or fall outdoorsy day. We're talking that tobacco flower here, a premature, more airy, aromatic take on the tobacco plant, while maintaining some of that warmth, as well as the beeswax and the tonka here, giving you more of this cozy equinox vibe, but nothing too indulgent and syrupy. Like I deadass just want to walk through a city park with this scent on, or go on a hike and just feel good about it. So I love that. It's quite the romantic scent for me, and I guess it just took me to love myself in order to feel this good about this scent. So that's my doomer romantic falling in love with Field Notes from Paris story. It sounds kind of sad, but it's genuinely how I felt. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this scent too in whatever shape or form you can. Just give US independent perfumery a shot. I think there's much to be discovered, at least for me as well. And if you guys want to with this one, if you want to buy this stuff, Field Notes from Paris 75 ml retails for 125 USD on the Ineke site, which is fair for something that nothing else smells like and is totally unique. So for a totally different approach to perfumery, and if you love being outdoors and want something cozy, give it a shot. Again, it's Ineke Field Notes from Paris. Now moving on to the final scent on this list of frags I changed my mind on, that is Royal Water.
And RW, I feel like, is one of the most underwhelming creeds, at least for me out there. Like, it just doesn't remotely register an emotional response with me. I'm trying to like it, but I just can't. As a result, I think I have to give Royal Water an E tier.
Yes, that Royal Water. Guys, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. At the time, I was into the more overt, charismatic freshies of Creed. The Melanie Millseam Imperial or the Alpine Silver Mountain Water. And while I still dig a lot of these scents, over the lockdown as well, I've been also fiending for these more stoic scents. The stoic kind of freshness. So enter Royal Water here. The citrus and Ramina doesn't exactly take me to a place like you would in maybe the Alps for SM Water or Ireland for GI Tweed. And when you get into the basil here, you just think of a more, again, stoic, old money fresh maybe, or at least that's what I think of. And I'd be lying if the Succession-esque quiet luxury vibes that are hot lately didn't make me more enthralled with this juice, but they do. So to a certain extent, and I already just mentioned this word, Royal Water has a quiet charisma, which now I love, and I think you will too if you are looking for a no-nonsense freshie, but is also super high quality with it being a Creed. If that's you, great. Just be wary of the retail route because yikes, 470 USD on the Creed site is definitely not cheap, but once again, it is also on Joma Shop, and there you can still have it for just under 210 USD, so way over half off. Again, I hope you like this one. If you don't already, it is Creed Royal Water. And there it is, guys. We're at the end of the video. Hope you found this entertaining and or informing. But it's also that time of the video now that I want to know what you think. Which fragrances have you warmed up on, or have you soured on any fragrances that you used to own or used to love? Please let me know in the comment section below. Until next time though, thank you for the ongoing support. Take care. Peace out. Bye. Subscribe also. My name is Manny. Where are your fragrances?